ArsenalFanTV, Mo, it was great today. Not just the result, but to see Arsene Wenger getting such a good reaction from the fans. What did you make of it?
Yeah, look, that was fully expected for me. I think that, amongst the wider fan base, the 60,000 people that actually turned up at the stadium rather than basing it on Twitter, there's enough sensible heads there to appreciate what Arsene Wenger has done for the club, and I fully expected him to get a really good reception today. And I think this is the third last game that he's going to manage at home for us, and as we get to the second last and the final game, I think that sort of reception will only increase for him, and the tributes and stuff will only increase, and rightly so, because Arsene Wenger has been absolutely amazing for this club, incredibly influential for this club, and there's nothing that we can really say or do that will give him the tribute that he deserves. And
will his legacy be intact?
100%.
When because I speak to people. A lot of people say yes. Some people say nah. He's tarnished it. The last 5-6 years, he's tarnished that legacy with his failures to win the league.
No, I think both of those things are true. His legacy will definitely be intact, and when we look 10-20 years on from now, the last few years and the disappointment of the last few years won't be quite as raw. They won't feel quite as recent to us, and because of that, I think we'll look at what he did do rather than what he didn't do in about 10 or 20 years, and his legacy will be intact. But the unfortunate thing is, there'll always be the additional sentence. When people talk about Arsene Wenger and they pay tribute to what he's done, there'll always be but it's a shame that, he didn't retire or he couldn't win a league and all of that sort of stuff. There'll always be a follow-on, and that's the bitter kind of feeling that we'll all have when it comes to Arsene Wenger, because what you wish for someone like him is that he completes the circle, he pulls it back around, he vindicates himself, and he proves everyone wrong, goes out on a high. That's what you wish. And unfortunately, now that last season, that could have been his opportunity to do it, however unlikely, that's been taken away from him. Not to say that it was the wrong decision, though. I mean, we've all said that, that extra contract probably shouldn't have been offered to him. But the thing that confuses me is that, look, if we're going to... no one knows what's happened. And I remember... I think it was Brighton away, we spoke, and I was quite annoyed that day, and I said that, look, whatever needs to happen, make it happen behind closed doors, and tell all of the fans, tell the general public that it's been a mutual decision. And that's
they heard you.
Exactly. That's exactly what the club have done, and I'd like to say thanks and pay tribute to the club in terms of how they've dealt with the issue. No one knows what's happened, and we don't need to know, because what's more important than our curiosity is Arsene Wenger's legacy and the respect that he has in the game. Yeah. So I really, really like the way the club have dealt with that. I think they did it in a very classy manner, and the only way we'll ever find out is when Arsene Wenger decides to write his autobiography, and if he wants to, release that information. It is interesting though, in his programme notes today, he did refer to the whole incident as his decision. He said, I think is the right time to go, or words of that effect. So that doesn't indicate that he's being pushed, but he might just be towing that party line. And look, I'm really glad that we're not going to be finding out that he has been pushed, even though if I was to guess, I'd say that it probably hasn't been his decision, because for 20 odd years he's been telling us he doesn't break contracts, and all of a sudden now a contract's being broken. But look, I just want to say thanks to him, and I massively appreciate it, not just because of the trophies he's won, it's bigger than that. You can't compare him to other managers, because other managers have won trophies, have been there for on the field reasons. Arsene Wenger has shaped not just the club in its current form, he's taken us on to a new level, but it's my kids and my kids' kids and their kids that'll enjoy what Arsene Wenger has done. He's given us such incredibly strong foundations, and any manager that comes in, the first thing they need to do is send a bottle of champagne or a nice cigar to Arsene Wenger, because he's given them an amazing platform on which to succeed. But, the sad thing is today, I was watching the first half and I thought the first half is a perfect display of why change needs to happen, because it was uninspiring, it was sloppy, and when we come up against when we come up against Atletico Madrid, they're really going to take advantage of that. And our season and Arsene Wenger's sort of like the poetic end to his tenure here all depends now on this Europa League, because that's all we've got left to play for, and we've got a huge obstacle in the way in Atletico Madrid. If we don't win the Europa League, it's going to be a really tame, tepid end to his tenure, and I really am not looking forward to that. And unfortunately, I think that's what's going to happen, because in terms of our attack, we can match Atletico Madrid. We've both got great attacks, but I can't see our defence keeping Griezmann and co out when they come here, but I can definitely see their defence, Godin and co, keeping our strikers out when we go there. And I think the defence is going to be what ultimately the tie hinges on. So and just praying that the boys can pull something out for Arsene Wenger, because it's the least that he deserves.